Welcome to Force of Awakening. In ancient Cyprus, 300 years before Christ, there resided a wealthy merchant named Zeno. He lost all his wealth when a violent storm engulfed his ship and cargo. This tragic turn of events annihilated a lifetime's labor in an instant. Imagine being in Zeno's shoes. How would you react to such an abrupt loss, the fruit of so many years of toil, swept away by an indifferent force of nature? What is the right reaction? Anger, sadness? Would you feel cheated by life? For many, these reactions would be natural. But not for Zeno, the founder of Stoicism. A small adjustment can have an eternal impact, and a small change in your mindset can lead to major transformations. At the heart of Stoicism lies the essence of acceptance and indifference. Inspired by Socrates and other prominent thinkers, Zeno forged and propagated the principles of Stoicism. According to Zeno, despite our lack of control over external events, we hold power over our reactions, and it is imperative that we exercise this control wisely. Rather than lamenting over spilled milk, or in this case, over drowned goods, Zeno kept his cool, remaining calm and neutral despite his predicament. Nowadays, Stoics are often perceived, perhaps wrongly, as unflappable individuals who avoid emotional extremes like outbursts of anger or anxiety attacks. But the original Stoicism was much richer. Beyond a term for impassive people, it is a way of seeing, apprehending, and understanding the world, a way of life that has crossed the centuries. Stoicism can be applied today just as it was thousands of years ago, and its benefits are just as significant. Stoicism guides us in transforming negative emotions, engendered by difficult experiences, into reflections that offer a unique perspective on the world. Perspective is crucial. Each individual, with his or her distinct experiences, has a unique vision of things. As the Stoics met, discussed, and taught in public, their general philosophy was widely known. They believed that Stoic principles could benefit everyone, and so it didn't make sense for them to hide in a school or in the courtyard of a palace. From the slave to the emperor, all could embrace and excel in Stoicism. And many have done so. Stoic figures include Epictetus, once a slave whose name means acquired, Seneca, a prominent statesman, and Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who was one of the most influential individuals in human history. The original Stoics lived by their precepts, rejecting all discrimination and fighting inequality. They created the term cosmopolitan, synonymous with citizen of the world. Today, the term conjures up images of metropolises such as New York, Toronto, Dubai, and London. It was this type of unity and solidarity that the Stoics preached, even encouraging the Stoic education of women in refractory times. In an unpredictable world, our emotions can often disrupt the flow of events. Our sadness comes more from unexpected misfortunes than from the misfortunes themselves. Rain feeds our environment, promoting the flowering of plants and cooling the climate. However, being surprised by a shower without an umbrella is rarely pleasant. But why don't we sink into despair with every downpour because we anticipate this eventuality, aware of its inevitable nature? We know we can't dominate the weather. And the rain always gives way to a bright renewal. Stoicism guides us to anticipate the worst possible outcomes, finding peace in accepting their eventual occurrence. One of the key Stoic exercises, voluntary discomfort, aims to cultivate gratitude. Sleep on your kitchen floor, take cold showers, eat nothing but potatoes for a few days. This practice helps to realize that, despite adversities, you can not only survive but thrive with the right mindset. It also builds mental resilience, preparing us for possible future misfortunes. In an age where advertisements continually bombard us, suggesting that true happiness can only be achieved through material possessions or social status, This message takes on crucial importance. We are thrown into life with limited knowledge. We grow up learning things at home, at school, and by observing the world. The fact is that, very often, these three sources of knowledge teach us different things. The question is whether we need to internalize all this knowledge. If this is the case, we might have unrealistic expectations for our lives, ultimately leading to disappointment and dissatisfaction. It's not a way to live. Rather, we should strive to improve ourselves, for ourselves. We must act for ourselves, and nothing else. Tying external expectations or secondary ties to our actions often leads to disappointment. Often, we try to fill this void with external elements, such as buying a luxury car, a big house, or even starting a family. Sometimes we do these things for their outward appearance, rather than for their true value. But Stoicism warns against entrusting one's happiness to external forces, which are always likely to fail. Cars break down, natural disasters destroy cities, and divorces are on the rise. But even the simple pleasures of life come at a cost, whether physical or mental. According to Seneca, living with less frees up space for what really matters in your life. We should base our happiness on our intrinsic value as human beings, not on what we own or acquire. We must strive to remain serene, whatever the circumstances that life presents to us. Because in the end, although we do not have control over the majority of the events that happen to us, we are in complete control of our reaction to them. This is the dichotomy of control, the most important principle of Stoicism. The Stoics advocate a clear distinction between what is in our control and what is not. We must base our value on what we can control, not on what is beyond our control. Aiming for goals is positive, but collapsing when they fail is, according to the Stoics, useless. Making YouTube videos is easier than ruling as a Roman emperor, but it does present challenges. You need an idea, which can be long. Then you have to do your research, sometimes throw everything in the trash, then start again, write the script of the video, create the video, edit it, create the title, thumbnail, and everything else before clicking upload. Before you click the upload button, everything is under your control. After that, YouTube's algorithm takes over. Still, many people judge the success of their YouTube channel or Instagram account based on the number of views and subscribers, parameters that, for the most part, are beyond their control. The Stoics recommend measuring success by effort and work, not by the expected results. Trust the process. Think of someone who has worked hard in the last 6 months. Believing that she deserves a promotion, she presents herself to her boss with her performance report. The boss thanks her, but doesn't give her the promotion, and she goes home thinking she must be terrible at her job. She doesn't consider that the boss might have just woken up angry, that someone else might have been better qualified at that time, or that the company simply lost money and couldn't afford it. She doesn't know the reason, but she's upset all the same. If she had simply given importance to the quality of the performance report she submitted, if she had continued to do what she was doing to get the promotion she wanted, she could have been happier. With the proper perspective, her purpose is not diminished, but simply deferred. This readjustment of the state of mind is crucial. A true Stoic does not measure success by profits, but rejoices in living comfortably without the luxuries that money offers. The 4 main virtues of Stoicism are wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. Wisdom is about distinguishing between what is inside and what is outside, and choosing how we react to the things that happen to us. As Viktor Frankl said, between the stimulus and the response, there is a space, and that is our power to choose our response. Courage. 2 words. Persist and resist. Temperance or moderation is what I have just done, to do more with less, to say more with fewer words. While Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are battling it out at the top of the Forbes list, the Stoics believe that wealth should be limited to the essentials, followed by what is enough. Justice is the most important of all virtues. It teaches that no one should harm another, for we are all born for one another, to do good to one another, not harm. Nelson Mandela was one of the most famous African leaders in the world. While fighting against apartheid, he was sentenced to life in prison, where he remained for 27 years before being released. When he was released, he was elected president of South Africa, and many people thought he was going to brutally punish anyone who had anything to do with apartheid or his imprisonment, but of course, he didn't. Throughout his imprisonment, Mandela read the works of Marcus Aurelius and learned many of the core values of Stoicism, which he practiced throughout his life. Nelson Mandela advocated reconciliation instead of revenge. He stressed that the past was out of their control, encouraging them to build a better nation for the future. Such is the way of the Stoic. In medicine, Stoicism is at the heart of rational and emotional behavioral therapy and logotherapy. This therapy helps patients identify negative thought patterns related to emotional and behavioral problems. It encourages questioning the logical basis of negative thoughts, allowing them to be replaced with healthier, more constructive beliefs once it is evident that they are unfounded. Logotherapy is based on the Stoic principle of an intrinsic purpose for every human being, even in difficult times. However, this is easier said than done. It's a process like any other. We must redefine our thinking, eliminate the old to welcome the new. To solve happiness problems, we need to practice self-esteem. By redefining our worth around what we can control, rather than what we can't, we can live happier, more fulfilled lives. Stoicism guides us through storms past and present, to sail to more peaceful waters. Even if our ship sinks and we all perish, we can find satisfaction in a life well lived, no matter how long it lasts. Because don't forget that everything has a meaning. That's all I have to say in this video. Keep up the good work, and I'll see you next time.